front of the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash make it a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Now, today is a great day. It's Monday, start of the week for some people. For some people, Sunday was the start of the week to get the day going. I'm just saying. I'm here to talk about these games and also spread the news that video games, I heard, reduces stress and puts a smile on your face. So play more games, right? Less Twitter, more games. Anyway, some stuff came across my table. Now, yesterday, I know a lot of y'all was watching the Super Bowl and y'all got a chance to see Kendrick Lamar do his great halftime show. Now, for some people, the halftime show was a little bit tame. For some people, the halftime show was out of this world. There's a lot of stuff there. I mean, maybe if you are into urban politics, hood politics, then you understood exactly a lot of the stuff that was going on there at the show. I thought the show was amazing. Absolutely a 10 out of 10 for me. Now, listen, in this whole thing, I thought Drake was going to wash him. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar taught me a lesson, and he taught the world a lesson. Never underestimate the little guy, you know. And he performed, and it was well-deserving. His 5 Grammys was well-deserving. Him on that stage was well deserving. The how can I say it? The ambiance of what he put together was well deserving. Now, a lot of people had a problem with his set selection. That's the sound selection, the songs that he actually chose. But again, at the end of the day, he finished off with a bang. Not Like Us is what everybody wanted to hear, and he delivered in spades. Again, all I cared about was the halftime show. I'm a Jets fan. My team wasn't playing, so I'm not going to tell you I gave a crap about anything that was going on. I'm one of those people. My team ain't playing, I ain't watching, so I don't care. Anyway, this week, if you watch Iron Lord's podcast, you saw that we had Toby from Warhorse Studios on. Now, Toby is a personal friend of mine, a really cool dude. And this was well-deserving. All the accolades that I've seen Warhorse Studio receive for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was well-deserved. And for anyone that realized Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was made on the Crytek engine. See, a lot of information was given out if you got a chance to watch yesterday's show. Now, it was an abbreviated show. Usually we go 5, maybe 6 hours. But it was Super Bowl, and, you know, Toby wasn't feeling well, but he did come on. And while he was there, he did say something that was very, very poignant in understanding development. And I'm starting to see a narrative form around what's going on. Well, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance was helped by the Series S greatly. And, you know, he said it on our show, and all the publications out there are giving us our just due. For the past week, Kingdom Come Deliverance has been the talk of the town, and rightfully so. The new Xbox RPG managed a smashing 9 out of 10 here at, PX Towers last week. All in all, the game feels much better optimized than its predecessor did at launch. And it sounds like Xbox Series S really helped the team bring the sequel to life on current-gen consoles. Speaking on a recent episode of Iron Lord's podcast, a member of the development team, Toby, and his last name is very hard for me to pronounce, and I'm not going to try to butcher it. Warhorse Studios touched on the Series S and how making the game for that console greatly helped the team's focus and optimization efforts on all platforms. Here's what the dev had to say about developing for the Series S. The optimization for the Series S helped greatly on other platforms as well. Of course, it's the weakest of the four. That's not even a secret, but since you have to dial down in a few things and have to deliver where you can in programming and in the code and so on, and be able to save memory here and there, some of these optimizations for the Series S benefited the other consoles. Now, I remember when Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, told you when he was on Dustin Liguri's show that the Series S, he doesn't look at the Series S as a holding back, and he doesn't want to let go of the parity clause because he sees that the Series S within itself is a help. All these handhelds right now coming out, and if you looked at the latest episode of Digital Foundry, they said that they haven't seen a handheld as powerful as a Series S right now. So if Xbox, Microsoft, was able to take that Series S and get it into a form factor in which it is the handheld, would you guys be okay with that? Now, you probably will have a little bit of AI acceleration chip inside, but a handheld with a screen, just going for 1080p, not pushing any higher, not going anywhere else, with that console, would that be something that will interest you? Being that Digital Foundry finds it to be an amazing piece of tech, and no handheld is more powerful than it. I mean, I do have my ROG, I do have my Steam Deck, and they do push out really good numbers. What if this handheld is the Series S? You know, what would you say? It's like a Series S Pro reduced to handheld size. Would that be something that will entice you? Because I was thinking about a couple of things this weekend, and I thought to myself, and I said, hey, self, has the Xbox reached its limit? And we're going to get into that in the next topic. But the Series S helping the other consoles was something that Phil touched on and people dismissed it. Digital Foundry told you that it's a capable machine. People dismissed it. Now, a first-hand developer from Warhorse Studios, a game to me that is potentially game of the year, told you that if not for the Series S, maybe they don't achieve what they have achieved. And I believe they achieved something that quite frankly could be and should be nominated for Game of the Year. Now, a ton of people told you Avowed was going to come out and it was not going to be a well-optimized game. It wasn't going to run at 60 frames per second. It wasn't going to do this. It wasn't going to do that. And I got to tell you, man, I got to honestly tell you from the standpoint that I believe that since Call of Duty, Xbox has been on a roll. Now, I can't really go into my personal take from it, but because this is the NDA game that I am reviewing at the moment. But what I can do is talk about this body of work here that goes into Avowed's full performance mode and options detailed for the Series X. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Series S and S, and a lot of haters go after the S. The S is an entry-level console that gets you into the ecosystem. I believe, and then I'm going to get into that topic in a few with the Series X and S, and in my opinion, what they did, what Microsoft was up against going into this, right? Into this generation. Avowed's full performance mode options detailed for the Series X. Now, in the run-up to Avowed launching on Xbox Game Pass, we're hearing more about the shape of the game following the delay from last year. And it sounds like Xbox Series X players have plenty of performance options on day one. After finding out the game can run up to 60 frames per second A new interview came at Kiria Patel, that's the game director, has revealed even more Avowed performance details. Here's what Obsidian Dev had to say when talking to Last Stand Media. Optimization and performance tuning. That's all been more recently, effort for us. But yes, as you noted, going into to have performance mode, we also have a balance mode, which is sort of an in-between quality and performance for players who have 120 hertz televisions. Now, this means for those TVs that support it, there will be 3 gameplay options for Avowed here, which is a big improvement on 30 frames per second. That was supposed to be the main target back in August of last year. The standard 60 hertz televisions users will likely have quality mode, 30 frames per second, and performance mode, up to 60 frames per second. And you know what? And I'm going to get into something. I'm going to say, okay, so I have 2 televisions and I can attest to this. Well, I have more than 2 televisions, but the 2 televisions that I play on, the one television downstairs doesn't have 120 hertz. The other television upstairs has 120 hertz. I can attest that this thing does have 3 performance modes. Now, we don't have any real detail on Xbox Series S version of Avowed in terms of performance, so we'll just have to wait and see how all digital consoles shaping up on release. For all the launch details for Valve, check for Iron Lord's podcast as we give you all of it. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things. The performance is something that you don't have to worry about with Avowed. I think they were aiming for 60, but they want to nail down all the nuts and bolts of the game. They want the game to feel fluid. They want the game to get you to a good space. So I think the whole main goal going into it was to make sure Avowed played right, was solid, from a gamer standpoint. And then they can worry about performance at the end. I think that's how you should attack a game. I think you should take care of everything first and then worry about fine-tuning and optimization at the end. Normally, this is what's done. The same thing with movies. Post-production stuff usually, comes after they've tested the movie, after they're already cool with everything, and they go in there and they pretty it up. So, no different. And I'm trying to drag this part out because the talking point that I do have about the Series S and S hitting their ceiling. Okay. My thought process is that the Series X and S has hit their ceiling, right? And let me tell you why. There's not going to be much room of growth in the console space. A lot of people are still playing on the PlayStation 4. A lot of people are still playing on the Xbox One, right? And then you could say, let's say from this generation, turnover from Xbox to PlayStation 4 last gen, let's say we give them 5 to 7 million Xbox players that went over to the PlayStation 4, right? And that continued into the PlayStation 5. So that's why you could see that the Xbox Series consoles is trending beneath the the Xbox One. Now, and then you would think that, okay, this is the limit for the console. So this gives Microsoft a little bit of freedom, right? And knowing your ceiling, you say, all right, your ceiling is 40 to 50 million tops, while PlayStation ceiling is 100 plus, right? So quite double the Xbox's ceiling. Now you look at it and you say, okay, if that's the ceiling, what we can do is, because I believe that the next generation adoption rate is going to be slower than this adoption rate in the sense that we won't have to upgrade as fast as you think. I believe that service-based games are eroding the transition from generation to generation because service-based games has to cater to everyone. You can run Fortnite on the Switch, right? And so in doing so, you change how people purchase. Well, let me give you to the topic first, right? Because I think the topic speaks volumes, and then I can give you my synopsis. Take-Two CEO believes that Grand Theft Auto 6 will help sell Xbox consoles in 2025. And what he's been saying is that, he's been on great large releases, and large releases like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 5. He understood how those games help sell consoles. Now, this game won't be available on PlayStation 4 and won't be available on Xbox One. So this game would force people to come over. Now, Zelnick says he believes that the big 2025 releases, including the ones from his own company like Grand Theft Auto 6, will result in a meaningful uptick in console sales in the calendar year of 2025. The CEO also adds, historically, that big releases has sold consoles. And I believe that's true. And being that the game won't be released on PC, the definitive platforms will be the higher end consoles like the Series X and the PlayStation 5. Now, I don't know if it would sell pros because I don't think that you're going to get more frames out of it. I could be wrong. Maybe you get a couple of frames here and there. Maybe it's a little bit more stable. But I truly believe that the fidelity will probably be a little bit sharper. Maybe the resolution will probably be a little bit better. Maybe. I haven't seen anything from the Pro, and I'm a Pro owner, that has indicated that it's a must-have item and there's a game that will actually take advantage of it. We have to get to that point yet, right? I mean, it works for me, may not work for you. And I understand the reasons and trust. I get it. But at the end of the day, he believes that this game will get those people off of those older gens to get us to where we need to be numbers-wise, right? Because, listen, when these consoles sell at the rate that they're supposed to sell, then we get the sales that we need to get in order to boost adoption rate. And then when you boost the adoption rate numbers, then you start to see more games hit the market. This is the reason why we're hearing games are going to go up in price and hardware is still the same, because the adoption rate has not been what these companies need. And they're looking for different avenues in order to get that growth, in order to boost that revenue, in order to get that income so they can continue to produce games. As you see, the PlayStation has slowed down significantly on the output of games per year because the revenue isn't there to produce games that is high quality, because the return on investment has not bear fruit. Xbox, on the other hand, has taken a different approach. They have seen that they are almost reaching their cap limit, and they said, well, in order for us to continue to facilitate great games, we're going to have to become a third-party distributor. And on certain titles, those games will go all across the boards. I believe the titles that cost the most to make will make it to everyone. I believe that the titles that are in the library that has reached their critical peak, that their sales are stagnant, they will make the crossover. I believe that if they can find a new audience, they will get money in these areas. That leaves these other two to fend for themselves. It's either get down or lay down time. This is the time where you have to take serious, true evaluations of your company and say, what is the options left for us? Because as the market cap reaches, and you're going to hit a ceiling, and there is billions of cell phones out there, but you do not have access to those billions of customers. Now, Microsoft is making that an absolute positive move, and where everything, including your cell phone, is an Xbox. They're trying to reach new customers in new places to break that glass ceiling that's above their heads. And I think they're on to a resounding great start. Even the CEO of Take-Two, Zelnick, believes that Xbox will sell way more consoles this year. And I believe that he's telling the truth. I'm getting really sick and tired of this. I mean, I've been seeing all these classics. Resident Evil games has been rated for the Series X and X, but they haven't released them. I don't know what's going on, but they need to hurry up. They need to get this stuff done because I'm looking forward to it. Everybody else is looking forward to it. Let's complete this library. Now, you thought I was going to go into the PlayStation outage. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how it is. We're going to run it up on these bumps. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Now, this is sad. This is sad because first of all, it was Super Bowl weekend, right? And seriously, in all seriousness, my heart went out to you guys because if you have a digital console and you brought games, you couldn't resolve your licenses when you tried to log in because you couldn't log in. Now I saw a lot of guys saying, "Well, it didn't affect me." Stick around because we're going to talk about how this company doesn't care. Like when Microsoft does something that is so egregious, like stuff like this, what normally happens is you're gifted a game. A game pops up, and that's it. So, PlayStation's out more than 24 hours. People couldn't log in. People couldn't play. You was able to do some other stuff, but you really wasn't able to do what you needed to do or what you wanted to do. And if you didn't have any physical copies, if you brought an all-digital console and all of your purchases is digital, because maybe space-wise, maybe whatever requirements that got you to where it's at, and you don't have a disk drive, and I heard that some disk drives wasn't being recognized because it couldn't reconcile the license. So, here we go. PlayStation outage live update. Sony issues an apology and a make good offer. Subscribers get an extra 5 days off of PlayStation Plus. Now, the fact that they get an extra 5 days off of PlayStation Plus, for their troubles, they say, hey, man, here. If you are not a PlayStation Plus subscriber, how does that help you? What does that do for you? You just ish out of luck. That's terrible. But again, they're the market leader, right? Well, technically not Nintendo, but they are in the current two, because it's only two current gen consoles until Switch 2 shows up. They are the de facto leader in console sales. All right, let's keep it a bean. What happened is, you said thousands of PlayStation players took to social media to express their frustration over the weekend. Call of Duty fans has been some of the most vocal as the outage coincides with the promotional weekend of Black Ops 6, where players could get double XP through Monday. And remember, on Frontline Gaming streams, we were playing Call of Duty when this stuff was going on Saturday. Yes, Frontline Gaming streams, I play everything. If it's Call of Duty, it's whatever, Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel Rivals, whatever it is, I play it and we get to have fun. But again, my PlayStation brethren, the blue team, they weren't able to. And that's sad. And the compensation for individuals that aren't in PlayStation Network is even more egregious. I don't know how they can fix it. I would have said those people that don't have PlayStation, well, first I would have gave them a free month, right? I would have gave everyone a free month. If that's the case, you give everybody a free month to have access to all these games. And potentially, maybe you might get a customer to sign up to your program, your service, after the fact, right? So I think I would have did the free month. And I think technically what everyone what they should have done for everyone, free month, and just advertise it and talk about what happened with the outage. I don't know really what the outage was. A couple of people, and myself, we were talking and we were trying to figure out if it was hacked. If it's not hacked, because the last time they had some outage, they were hacked. The questions now is, are they hacked? What was lost? Who was affected? Those are bigger things. Information being lost to the dark web is potentially more dangerous than anything else. And did any studios get hacked in which more games can be delayed? Did Sucker Punch get hacked with Ghost of Yode? There's a lot of things, because remember when Wolverine and Insomniac got hacked, they had the code and they put the game out there. So again, these are questions that we have, and we probably won't get the answers until a little bit later, until they're forced to disclose what went wrong and what's going on. But I believe this week is the week that they're supposed to have their show. I don't know what day it is supposed to be, but I know on the 24th, Xbox has a show. So hopefully this week we will learn more about games coming out for their console, because it seems to be more and more bad news as the days go on. And I'm not saying that gleefully in my console warring little mind. I'm not yelling out hashtag no PlayStation 6. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kongs next this whole generation. Not saying that I don't feel that way. But as a gamer, my heart goes out to you dudes, because I know when you specifically put time to the side in order to partake in your drug of choice, if you will, which is video games, and you can't feed that habit, that's when I advocate, and I'm going to always advocate, to have multiple consoles. I'm never going to tell anyone, don't go buy a PlayStation. I'm never going to tell you, don't go buy an Xbox. I'm never going to tell you, don't buy a Switch. I'm not going to tell you, don't get a PC. But I'm going to tell you to make sure that you open yourself up to different avenues in order so that this thing doesn't happen to you in the manner that it does. Because again, we're in a digital age where digital libraries and shortages and outages and stuff like that does happen. And again, we're at the mercy of these companies when stuff does happen. So again, to insulate yourself from these kind of travesties, I suggest having multiple consoles. And also look into retro consoles. I have a ton of retro consoles. I have my Neo Geo. I have my TurboGrafx. I have my NES, Super NES, my Genesis. And also I have an arcade cabinet, which I play thoroughly, which has thousands and thousands of games. So at the end of the day, I'm thoroughly insulated from these type of obstacles that does transpire in this digital world. What I'm trying to explain to you is insulate yourself. If this is your hobby, take your hobby a little bit seriously, that you're not beholden to, again, and I'm an extremist. I'm an extremist when it comes to video games, right? I'm not telling you to go to the lengths that I go to, but I'm just saying, just have an extra option, a spare tire, if you will, just in case you catch a flat, just saying. Well, thank you. If you made it this far in the video, I will tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And make sure you hit the notification bell. Also, subscribe to Frontline Gaming Streams, where I stream games daily. And you can jump into Discord and have fun. We can talk about video games and just have fun. If you need to just blow off a little bit of steam and you want to hang out with some guys, we're playing games, and we always have a team running something. If we're not running Fortnite or running Marvel Rivals or Marvel vs. Capcom or Fight Night Fridays with Tekken or whatever the hell we're doing. And if, let's say I'm playing something else, if you see me playing Space Marines or something like that, and you want to jump in, hey, I'm available. Just join the Discord. The link is in the description. And just check and see if I'm in there and be like, yo, what you playing, King? Let's get some games in. I'm there. Because I think I come from an era of each one teach one, and I think that's where it should be. I think that's exactly where it should be. Microsoft's strategy in gaming has shown me how resilient and how outside of the box, all the thinkers and people are in charge. What Satya is questioning, because Satya is not a gamer. What Satya questioning, why is exclusivity a thing? And he doesn't understand it because fundamentally in his head, the more the merrier. See, because he wants to be the first and the last. Like my joke is he wants the first piece of chicken and the last piece of chicken. All right, everything in between, everybody could get, but he wants it all. He wants the world. Phil, by any means necessary, wants Xbox to win. By any means necessary. And I know a lot of things went against his core, because remember, a lot of these dudes come from the console warring, and it's very hard to get that out of you. Trust me, I'm telling you. And then you have people that will strategize what's the next thing. Now, I believe that the Xbox handheld will be every gamer's, and I'm talking about gamers, every gamer's second console. Every gamer. Even if you're an Xbox gamer, I believe that they're going to put out a very powerful console. And it's going to probably sell for $700, $800, whatever. And I believe it's going to be very, very powerful. But then they're going to put out this handheld. I think the handheld comes in at $400, right? And I believe that handheld will be everyone's second console. If you have a Switch, I believe it's your second console. And then you say, why do I need two handhelds? I believe it will be your second console. If you have a PlayStation, I believe it's your second console. And if you have that powerful Xbox, I believe it's your second console. If you have a PC, I believe it's your second console. And I believe they're betting on that being your second console in order to boost those numbers past that 50 million. They have a glass ceiling of 50 million. Now they burst past that glass ceiling with 360 got 80 million. 80 plus. I believe they see that number. And it could have been more than that if they didn't get the red ring of death. A lot of things kept them from being where we wanted them to be. But think about this. Had they been number one, would they do these things? I don't know. Sometimes you can't deal in what ifs because what ifs remove your benefits. Sometimes you got to look at stuff instead of half empty. You got to look at it half full. Yeah, they didn't sell as much as the PlayStation. But yeah, the PlayStation services aren't as good. Yeah, Xbox is doing whatever they have to do and going out and acquiring different studios. And I'm pretty sure that these studios are very happy that Xbox has acquired them. Because what happens is they have financial stability. Because Xbox and Microsoft has an incentive to make quality games, place them on multiple consoles, and receive the revenue in order to continue with hardware and bring you more quality games. Well, this is my thought process in this. Let me know down below if I'm right or wrong. If you believe so, I don't know. But I want to give a shout out to Toby and Kingdom Come Deliverance too. If you haven't got a chance to play it, I suggest you highly go out and get it. I have it on Steam myself, and it plays phenomenal on my rig. I have an AMD rig with a 7900 GTX. I don't know. Don't get me to lying to you. I put the specs up, but whatever the highest number of 7900 is, I have it. And it runs like a dream, an absolute dream. So again, hey, if you're a PC dude, if you're Xbox dude, if you're PlayStation dude, I could tell you to do a couple of things and play some games. But for my Xbox team, this is Xbox Frontline News. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around some streaming because I've been playing this NDA game and, listen, Addict played it and it took him 57 hours to beat it. I'm like 20 hours in. I got mad hours to go. So I'm going to take my logo and I'm going to throw it around that NDA game because y'all got to get a chance to play it soon. And hopefully y'all got the upgraded package. I'm talking about Avowed. So y'all get the chance to play it early. And that armor set that comes with it, trust and believe you'll love it. Go do it. Make it happen. Get into the early access of the game. And I'm going to tell you, try to play the Game Pass.